Okay, here on number 4, we've got an order for Tylenol, 0.5 grams every 6 hours. Safe dosage range says you can give 10 to 15 milligram per kilogram every 6 hours, and our patient weighs 24 kilograms. So, like I said, part A is usually going to ask for what is the weight in kilograms. Well, they gave it to us, right? I mean, they gave us 24 kilogram as the patient weight, so we don't have to do any kind of converting. Watch for that on your homework. There will be some of those that it already gives you the weight in kilograms, so don't bother dividing by the 2.2. Now, the next part is going to ask about the safe dosage range. And before we tackle the math, be sure and look at the frequency. The order is listed every 6 hours. The safe dosage range says every 6 hours. So we are matching on the frequency. Good. Time to move on to the math. Safe dosage range, it did give us a min and a max. So let's start. We're going to have to do a low, and then we're going to do a high. And this one is milligram, right? So let's line this up as a milligram per day as our desired answer. Okay, well, the low end is 10, right? 10 milligram per kilogram. Now, on the first couple we were working, it was written as a milligram per kilogram per day. And this piece is missing that per day amount. This one says milligram per kilogram every 6 hours. So whenever you line up this 10, the only thing you can put it over is 10 milligram over kilogram. Okay, you can't put the per day down here anymore. So we are going to have to get day in the bottom, but it doesn't come from our initial fraction. Okay, we're going to have to fit that in at the end. So let's start in on this. 10 milligram per kilogram. So if it's kilogram at the bottom, I need kilogram at the top, right? So let's pull in our 24 kilogram. And we said just put that over 1. The weight doesn't typically get paired with anything. But we do need to fit in day somewhere. We need day at the bottom, right? So let's go back and think about how much is happening in a day, right? It's 10 milligram per kilogram, but that's happening every 6 hours. Every 6 hours is how many times a day? Well, we said there's 24 hours in a day, divided by every 6, that's 4 times in a day. So let's let that be our next fraction, right? There's four of those doses in a day. So our kilograms are canceling. You have milligram on top, day on bottom. Now, like I said previously, we didn't need this last fraction because it was written milligram per kilogram per day. So we were able to put day into that first fraction, and we can't here. So we had to multiply by how many doses they're getting in a day. All right, let's do the math. 10 times 24 times 4. It's all just a bunch of ones on bottom, so we don't need those. So we're going to be looking at 960 milligram per day. What about the high? Same idea. We're just going to be working with the 15 instead of the 10. Now again, it's still going to be 15 milligram per kilogram, no day, multiplied by the weight. And then we also need to drag down this 4 doses in a day, right? So 15 times 24 times 4 should get you 1440 milligram per day. Yes. So let's move on to the next part. Is it safe, right? We've got our low and our high, but we've got to figure out what's been ordered and is it safe. So part C, what is the dosage ordered per day in milligrams, right? That's what we were looking at up here, was a milligram per day. The order was 0.5 grams every 6 hours. So we're going to need to work on that. We've got to get it written per day, and we've got to get it written into milligrams so that we can truly compare apples to apples. Okay. So let's start with the 0.5 grams is going to happen 4 times a day, right? That every 6 hours is 4 times a day. So 0.5 grams times 4 is going to tell you 2 grams. We are ordered to give 2 grams per day. And at this point, can you say that that's going to be safe or not? I need that 2 grams to fit in to this 960 milligrams or 1440 milligrams. Is it within that range? Well, I don't know. That's in milligrams and this is in grams. So I'm not comparing apples to apples yet. I need to change that 2 grams into milligrams. And that's what that question was asking. What is the dosage that's been ordered per day? We did get that piece tackled. but now I need it to be in milligrams because that's what my safe dosage range was written in. So let's change that 2 grams into milligrams. We can go back to dimensional analysis. If we're looking for milligrams, I know that there are 1,000 milligrams in 1 gram. Again, put your desired answer on the top of that first fraction, and then multiply by our 2 grams over 1 so that those grams cancel. 1,000 times 2 is going to give us 2,000 milligrams per day. Okay, so that is the dose that has been ordered per day, and it's in milligrams. So our next part, is the ordered dose safe? If this is our ordered dose, does it fit with our safe dosage range? Well, no, 2,000 is too big, right? So a simple no will be fine, but for your notes, it might be helpful to have 2,000 milligrams is too big to fit into that safe dosage range of 960 milligrams to 1,440 milligrams per day. Now, typically you're going to have this last question. If it's safe, how many tablets are you going to give? If it's not safe, enter 0. So ours is not safe, right? We're not going to give this dose. So we would just enter 0 tablets, okay? You would have to hold and call the prescriber, make sure if they do or do not want you to give that actual dose.